Jai Swaminarayan. Dear students, just imagine for a moment, if you have an empty water pot, you are filling water inside the pot, but there is a small hole at the bottom of the water pot. Tell me what will happen? Will the water remain inside the pot or will it flow out? Obviously you would say yes, it will flow out. Even if you fill full pot of water, the water will not remain inside the pot, it will flow out. Due to that single hole, whole pot became useless. This is just an example, but what is the principle behind this example? My dear students, our life also is like a pot. Every day we are filling knowledge, good thoughts, good virtues in our life. But mostly they don't stay stable in our life. Mostly we don't retain them for the longer time in our life. Why? Which is that hole in our life due to which these all good thoughts, good virtues don't stay stable in our life. Which is that hole due to which we don't retain good knowledge, good thoughts, good virtues in our life. Which is that hole? That hole is the lake of Brahmacharya. In the lake of Brahmacharya, whatever good knowledge, good thoughts, good virtues we attain in our life will not be retained in our life, will not stay longer time. Actually, the role of knowledge is transforming life. But in the lake of Brahmacharya, knowledge becomes disabled. You are a student, right? You are seeking knowledge and skills. But have you ever thought who is the enemy of knowledge? In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said to Arjuna that Kama Rupena Kaunteya Gnanino Nityaverina. Lust is the eternal enemy of the knowledge. Lust is opposite to Brahmacharya. What is called lust? In spiritual context, any desire irrelevant to the God is called lust. And in general context, any desire irrelevant to your goal is called lust. Mostly lust means the desires for the woman and desires for the genital gratification. Until and unless you have this desire, you cannot gain the knowledge. This desire is the enemy of knowledge. In Mahabharata, Mahatma Vidur has given a great statement especially for the students that Sukharthina kuto vidya nasti vidyarthina sukham. Sukharthiva tyajet vidyam vidyarthiva tyajet sukham. The meaning of this shloka is very powerful. Those who are running after the pleasures, they cannot acquire the vidya, knowledge. And those who are running after the vidya, knowledge, they should never expect the pleasures. Either you sacrifice your pleasures for the sake of your vidya, your goal, or you sacrifice your vidya, your goal, for the sake of pleasures. The choice is yours. And your choice will determine your future. It is also mentioned in our Vedic scriptures that one must follow Brahmacharya at least till the age of 25 years. In ancient Gurukul system, students used to stay in the Gurukul till 25 years and they used to follow Brahmacharya. And those Gurukuls were far in the jungle, away from the cities and societies. Why? Because if students are away from the woman, they can follow Brahmacharya easily and they can attain and retain the knowledge of Vedas. In our Swaminarayan Gurukul also, mostly our all Gurukul campuses are away from the cities in the natural surrounding, away from the worldly distractions. Well, now I can sense that one question is continuously moving in your mind, that what is called Brahmacharya. My dear students, in Brahmacharya there are two words, Brahma and Charya. Brahma means God. Charya means to follow or to go after. Brahmacharya means going after the God or the behavior that leads to God. Brahmacharya mostly means not to have genital gratifications and retain the semen within the body. That's called Brahmacharya. And that behavior leads towards the God. The purpose of brahmacharya is to retain the energy within the body and use that energy for the greater purpose of our life, which is realization of God. And brahmacharya is not only for the man, it's equally for the women. Both have to follow brahmacharya. Dear students, if you follow the brahmacharya, if you retain the semen within your body, you will get two powerful benefits in your life. Benefit number one is, which is said in our Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that brahmacharya pratisthayam virya labha. Virya labh is the result of brahmacharya, and that is tremendous energy gain. When you follow brahmacharya, you get energy in your body, in your mind, in your intellect. Brahmacharya improves our willpower, our mind power, our memory power, our focus power. When the retained semen moves upwards to our brain, it empowers our brain with extraordinary intelligence and enthusiasm. The semen is the energy. The loss of semen is the loss of energy. Here Hanumanji is the best example. Hanumanji could serve and please Lord Ram with unbelievable and extraordinary powers just by the strength of brahmacharya. That is why many people worship Hanumanji for the strength, because Hanumanji is known as the god of strength. Now the second benefit is eligibility to realize God. Brahmacharya improves our spiritual competency, our eligibility to realize God within our heart. You know, sometimes we do meditation, we do devotion, but we don't see God clearly within our heart. Why? Because we are not spiritually competent, we are not spiritually pure. But brahmacharya gives that eligibility to realize God within our heart. And those who follow brahmacharya, they always remain in the bliss. But you will never experience these two powerful benefits in your life if you don't follow brahmacharya. So follow the brahmacharya and experience the tremendous energy and bliss in your life. Dear students, sometimes college and youngsters come to Swamiji and they say that it's very difficult to follow brahmacharya during college life. It's very difficult to beat the cravings and urges arising from within. And when we see the girls, it creates attraction towards them. So how can we overcome the attraction for the girls? My dear students, if you want to overcome the attraction for the girls, then you have to develop one mindset which Bhagavan Swaminarayan said in Vachanamrutam. What is that mindset? Look at the woman with the mindset of sister or mother. When you use these two words, when you see them with this mindset, with this right sense, it will not allow your mind to think otherwise about them. But you know, sometimes when you call somebody as your sister or mother, some other students may tease you, may make fun of you. But my dear students, if you want to grow great in your life, then you must neglect such barking dogs. Don't bother about them. Let them bark. When they will tire, they will disappear. But neglect such barking dogs. And there is an amazing story of Arjun from Mahabharata, that when Arjun went to the heaven, there was one Apsara, namely Urvashi, and she got attracted towards the brave and charming personality of Arjun. She came to Arjun and she proposed for the intimacy. But Arjun responded her in a quite different way. Arjun did pranam to her and said, "You are respectable like my mother. Accept my respect." The moment Arjun spoke these words, affair got over. This is the power of pure words. So these are the two pure words you can use to control your emotion. Whenever you meet any woman, either you call her as sister or mother. It will basically help you to overcome the attraction for the girls. Now, the main question is how to master brahmacharya. Dear students, first of all, you remove from your mind that it's impossible to follow brahmacharya. It's absolutely possible if you practice the guidelines of scriptures. In Vachanamrutam, Bhagavan Swaminarayan has answered this question at various chapters. So based on Vachanamrutam, if you want to master brahmacharya, then you have to avoid 3 triggers and you have to accept 3 tonics. So let's take one by one. First of all, you have to avoid 3 triggers. What do you mean by trigger? When you go near to that, it will trigger the lustful desires in your mind. So you have to avoid these 3 triggers. So trigger number 1 is bad company. First of all, you have to avoid the bad company of vulgar friends, those who are running after girls, those who are doing nonsense. Avoid their company. In their company, you also will become like that. And secondly, don't have girlfriend. It's a Western trend, it's a Western culture, and there are so many vast consequences of it, which I cannot explain here. But avoid having girlfriend. It is said in Srimad Bhagavad Gita that Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha. Association and intimacy of woman triggers the lust. And what will happen if ghee will go near to fire? Same will happen if you go near to vulgar friends and if you go near to the girlfriends. Now trigger number 2 is bad contents. Dear students, stop watching vulgar videos, vulgar websites, vulgar messages, vulgar Facebook posts, WhatsApp messages, etc. Watching such contents will contaminate your mind. It will spoil the purity of your emotion. And by watching such kind of contents, it will multiply the urges for the lustful gratification. Now trigger number 3 is bad food. Dear students, brahmacharya is impossible without the purity of food. So stop eating non-veg food, onion and garlic, spicy food, outside impious food, and also avoid eating too much food. Also avoid such addictive substances, addictive drinks, because such kind of food will excite your mind, your senses. It will trigger the desires for the genital gratifications. So my dear students, if you want to control your lust, basically you have to avoid these 3 triggers. But it's not enough. You also have to take 3 tonics, which will give you energy to fight with the lustful desires. So tonic number 1 is satsang and seva of true saints. My dear students, have satsang with saints. Be in touch with saints personally. Take the guidance to follow brahmacharya. And also please saints with the selfless seva, wherever is possible, whatever is possible. Because in Vachanamrutam, Bhagavan Swaminarayan said that by the seva of true saints, one gets tremendous energy to fight with the lust. But make sure you are attached with the true saints, not with the false saints. Now tonic number 2 is chanting Swaminarayan Mahamantra. My dear students, whenever your mind gets dominated by the bad thoughts, lustful desires, when your thoughts go beyond your control, just chant Swaminarayan, Swaminarayan, Swaminarayan loudly. And definitely chanting Swaminarayan Mahamantra will evaporate all these vulgar thoughts and lustful desires from your mind. Because the power of mantra dismisses the power of Maya. If you have this Swaminarayan Mahamantra, Maya cannot disturb you. Now last but most important point for the brahmacharya, if you don't follow this point, you cannot master brahmacharya completely. So tonic number 3 is engage your mind in goal-oriented activities. Dear students, in our scripture it is said that how to conquer lust. In the answer, it is said that asankalpat jayat kamaha. One can conquer the lust by not thinking about a woman. If you don't give chance to your mind to think about woman, you can conquer the lust. But first of all, we need to understand the nature of our mind. Suppose if I tell you that don't remember lion for next 10 seconds. Don't remember lion. Don't remember brave lion, the king of jungle. what happened? You remember the line only. You have to divert your mind from such kind of thoughts by engaging yourself, by engaging your mind in goal-oriented activities. And remember, you will never master brahmacharya if you are not chasing greater goal in your life, greater purpose in your life. If you don't have greater goal and purpose in your life, you can't master brahmacharya. So engage your mind always in the goal-oriented activities. And how do you know whether you are fully engaging yourself in goal-oriented activities or not? My dear students, I would like to give one powerful parameter, one powerful indicator to measure that. In night when you go to the bed for the sleep, if you just die on the bed, that means you are fully engaged. Don't sleep. If you are dying on the bed, means you are fully tired and you just don't sleep. You just become dead on the bed. That means you are fully engaged in your goal-oriented activities. So this is the third tonic and most important tonic. If you are fully engaged in your goal-oriented activities, you can completely master the brahmacharya. My dear students, my dear Gurukulites, this is our last video of Be Ideal Student YouTube series. By the grace of Supreme Godhead Bhagavan Swaminarayan and by the blessings and continuous guidance of Pujipat Sadguru Sri Devaprasad Dasji Swamiji, Sri Swaminarayan Gurukul Hyderabad has presented these 5 videos on 5 virtues of ideal students. But after watching these 5 videos, if you don't make a resolution to implement in your life, nothing will change in your life. There is no revolution without resolution. So what kind of resolution will you make? To become an ideal student or remain an ideal student? To become a brilliant student or remain an average student? Finally, the choice is yours and we wish you will make the better choice. Thank you. Jai Swaminarayan.